Hi, my name is Pablo, and welcome to More Than Mind, a channel about mindfulness that teaches you how there's more to your mind than you think. This is the first video of a 5-part series that will teach you how to develop the 5 components of emotional intelligence with mindfulness. In this first video, I will talk about the first component, which is self-awareness. I will tell you why it is important, and I will share with you a little trick that will help you facilitate the process of developing self-awareness. Now, when we talk emotional intelligence, it has been gaining a lot of traction for defining or measuring the likelihood that you will excel in life or you will do well in life. Before, it was all about IQ, which was measuring your intelligence and problem-solving skills. But now it has come into the picture emotional intelligence, which helps you deal with situations, with people and emotions in a more tactful way. Daniel Goleman was the man who popularized emotional intelligence and brought with it 5 key components for defining emotional intelligence. And those are self-awareness, self-management, motivation, empathy, and managing relationships with others. In this first video, as I said, we'll talk about self-awareness and why it is the foundation of all of emotional intelligence. When we're talking about developing self-awareness, we're really talking about identifying and then understanding your emotions without getting overwhelmed by them. The key word here is emotions, and it's little surprise that that's the key word since we're talking about emotional intelligence after all. The reason why self-awareness is so important and the first component for emotional intelligence is because there are emotions and feelings that influence how you react in situations, how you make decisions, how you respond to people. Emotions are always present. And if you want to optimize how you make decisions, how you deal with people and all of these different things, you need to first understand what are those emotions and what are those feelings that are influencing your decisions. And of course, you cannot manage, you cannot optimize anything until you first identify those emotions. So that's the whole catch here. And how do you develop that ability to identify emotions? How do you develop that self-awareness with mindfulness, right? Now, if you are like most people, I bet that it is also difficult for you to identify emotions in general. If you go throughout your day, you can go several days without ever noticing that you felt emotions, even though you are actually feeling those emotions on an ongoing basis, you just don't realize it. And if you do manage to identify some emotions, it's very hard to explain what is the emotion or what exactly were you feeling. Even when you're doing or practicing mindfulness, it can be challenging to identify what you're feeling and put a name to it. Now, if we were to leave it at that, it would be quite a complex task to identify your emotions and develop self-awareness. Is there a way to make it easier? Well, luckily there is a trick of sorts that will make it easier. And to explain the trick, let me ask you, the last time you were angry, where did you feel that anger, if you can remember? And the last time that you were sad, where did you feel that sadness? Now, these 2 questions were asked to 700 participants by a Finnish research group. And they were asked these 2 questions along with many other questions that covered many other emotions. And those participants were tagging where they felt those emotions. And when they came back with those responses and they consolidated all that data, they came up with this, the Body Atlas. If you take a look at this list here, you're going to see a bunch of different emotions that were identified by the Finnish team. And each emotion is accompanied by a combination of colors, where red indicates an increase in the body sensations felt by the participants, and blue indicates a reduction in the amount of body sensations felt. Now, if you take anger as an example, you're going to see that it is more of a top of body emotion, heavy. And that's why we say that our head is boiling with anger when we're feeling angry. Anxious, it's more in the stomach, and that's why we say we have butterflies in our stomach. And this tells us something extremely important about developing self-awareness. And that is that every emotion that we feel is associated to a physical sensation in the body. Now think about it. Identifying emotions can be quite hard. But identifying body sensations, that's a lot easier. And that is the bridge. Body sensations are the bridge for you to start feeling and understanding your emotions, and the first step for you to start developing emotional intelligence. So you can start applying this trick in your day-to-day basis when you go about your life. If someone cuts you off in traffic, if your kid won't stop crying and he's driving you crazy, notice the physical sensations that you're feeling at that moment, right? Start noticing where you feel those physical sensations. Anytime you get triggered, notice those physical sensations. And sometimes it's going to be hard, sometimes it's going to be easy, but the more you do it, the easier it will become, right? And if you want to become even better at it, at identifying your physical sensations, your emotions, and developing self-awareness, I welcome you to click on this video right here and practice this guided mindfulness session, and it will guide you through identifying your physical sensations and scanning your body to see any other physical sensations you might be feeling. So this is the starting place if you want to get better at developing self-awareness of emotions.